Hey guys, Baddies Midwest episode 21. If you're watching me on TikTok, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube. And if you're watching me on YouTube, make sure you follow me on TikTok. Before we even get this episode started, I'm going to let y'all know right now, I feel like my opinion is going to be unpopular and y'all probably going to leave this review potentially feeling like I'm being insensitive, especially towards everything that happened with Dolly towards the end of the episode. So I'm just giving y'all a disclaimer. I will not be giving her too much sympathy for what happened. So we start the episode with Ahna and Summer still arguing. Summer talking about, don't call me Summer, it's Monroe to you. Don't know what she's talking about there. Then Ahna throws a water bottle at Summer. It hits her right in her face. Nunu and Biggie are still arguing. It's just a whole thing while they getting off of these boats that they were parasailing on. But nobody really gets in the paint in this moment. Ahna was telling the security that she want to light Summer's wig on fire. Nunu got on the sprinter with Dolly and Summer and was basically saying, she was trying to address her situation with Biggie, and Biggie kept bringing up Summer. And she like, me and your situation don't got nothing to do with whatever you got going on with Summer. And it's weird because Biggie, I don't even know why you got a problem with Summer. It's similar to your problem with Nunu. Like, you always be attaching yourself to Ahna issues. Because Anna's really the one who had an issue with Summer, and Anna's really the one who had an issue with Nunu. But at the same time, I feel like Nunu, this shit with you and Biggie is getting dry and old, and you need to let it go. If you're not going to run up on her, then stop talking about it. Because you basically keep asking her, do she want to fight? Do she want smoke? And you know that Biggie don't want smoke. She going to pop her shit like she do, but she ain't going to swing. Like, you know what I mean? So what's the point? You keep asking her over and over again, do she got smoke? If you still got smoke, Nunu, because you still mad that you got jumped, then just pop on Biggie. You don't need to keep asking her, do she want to fight you? Because you really want to fight her still. And I agree with what Rolly told Biggie. Stop giving it attention. Stop running your mouth if you know you don't want to fight. And I feel like she feels the same way about Nunu. Stop running your mouth and approaching Biggie about the situation if you're not going to be the one to swing first. Because all of this arguing back and forth every episode is getting tired now. So while all of this is still going on and everybody's still outside of their sprinters or the sprinters haven't left yet, Natalie's sitting in her sprinter with the door closed. So Rolly and Biggie go and open the door and was like, look, we all stressing out and going through it, and look at Natalie hiding in the car. Because that's what she be doing. So Natalie basically told them they're going to head to get some gelato, and I believe they went in 2 separate groups. So this was the first group here. And then this was the second group, which we'll get to. This scene had a lot of weird energy to me. Y'all see Dolly is walking in the front, and at some point she kind of stopped. And you know how you like fall back, like you trying to do the trust fall with people? But she was falling back into Tasiki and Tinkerbella, and they was just looking at her like, girl, we not about to catch you. We don't even fuck with you like that. It was just weird that they was all placed together because you could tell that the energy is disconnected. Half of them don't like each other. But that's the point. That's why they put them together. Because it's like, okay, we got Biggie, Jaden, Nunu, Dolly, Tinkerbella, and Tasiki. So at first, while they was walking, they was just talking about the experiences that they had on their parasailing and how the girls ended up getting into it on one of the boats. But then when they stopped to talk, Tinkerbella asked Nunu what's going on with her and Biggie. So once again, we rehashed the whole situation. Nunu's obviously upset because Biggie kept jumping into her fights with Ahna, but Biggie doesn't even stand up for herself. Biggie is basically saying, we keep talking about the same thing over and over again. If you want to fight again, we can fight again. She want her wig. She mad that Nunu messed up her wig. Just the same shit over and over again. Y'all already know what they beef is. So they ended up going back and forth for a little while and just seeming like they're going to dead it, but they not cool. And Biggie is a confessional gangster if I ever seen one. She not even really popping shit in the scene with Nunu, but in her confessional, she's popping it like, oh, if I had a problem with you, I would have been punched you in your face like I punched you in your face when you first came in the house. Like, girl, Biggie, please stop acting like we're ever going to let you live down the fact that you let somebody smack the shit out of you on the reunion stage and you did nothing back and ran and sat in the audience for the rest of the reunion. That was just the last reunion, babe. Like, we didn't forget. You're not tough. So cut all this confessional gangster shit out. So meanwhile, we see the second group at the gelato spot, and some of them are still starting to arrive. So at first, we just have Summer, Lex, Rolly, and Ivory. So Summer's talking to Rolly, and she's just basically saying, it's going to be up with them no matter where we at because they jumped me. And I'm really mad that Ivory did not say nothing to Summer yet. Like, girl, do you not remember at the beginning of this season when Dolly and Emma was getting their fair one and you tried to jump in and I had to drag you out of the fight and stop you? So you a jumper hoe. And you a tag teamer because you tag team Slim with Rolly. So you jump people and you tag team people. But you got jumped by 2 of the weakest bitches on Baddies, Scotty and Ahna. They can't even really do no damage to you. You got jumped by them and you losing your mind and you want me to have sympathy for you? I don't care. I have no sympathy for Summer. I don't feel bad for her. Like, she could stop with this pity victim party and just wanting us to care or be on her side about her getting jumped. It's not going to happen for me. So Natalie, Scotty, Ahna, and Jela start walking up to them to join them at the table. And Ahna sneaks Summer from behind, grabs her wig, throws it off, and is like, "What's that shit you was saying? What's that shit you was talking?" Now, I'm usually not here for a sneak, but I did cackle and I did laugh. And I felt like Ahna ate that. Neither one of them really could fight. They both be sneaking and jumping people. So it's like, I don't care. Like, they almost the same person in different fonts. You know what I'm saying? So that's something Summer would have done. So I don't care that somebody did it to her. Ahna snuck you and she ate. I said what I said. So Summer was trying to throw stuff back at Ahna. She kept missing. Ahna was like, "You got bad aim," because she done hit Summer with a water bottle and ice cream in her face in this episode alone. So she's clocking you, Summer, and you're not clocking back. And then Ahna was swinging Summer's wig around. I think she was stepping on it. And at some point, she just threw it into the street and was like, "Summer, this wig is done." So Lex was like, "Okay, you snuck her. You feel like you ate." And Ahna was like, "I snuck her because she snuck me. So I snuck her back." Now, do I feel like Summer snuck Ahna when they got into it? When they first got to the Hawaii house and Scotty jumped in? No, because they was face to face. But am I mad about Ahna sneaking Summer? No. She snuck her and it was still a one-on-one. Just how Summer felt comfortable sneaking Slim when Slim did not know she was coming and hitting her and them having that little one-on-one that they had. Here go Lex with these corny ass confessionals talking about Ahna need to stand on her 10, why she gotta sneak, this, that, and the third. Did you say anything to your friend Summer about all the people that she snuck or jumped in on? Because I don't think you have. I think y'all want to clock everything the OGs are doing wrong, but y'all not really looking at yourselves and how y'all came into the season on bullshit. So Ahna got to asking Summer, "What was that stuff you were saying about me and Scotty?" And Lex was like, "Oh, why are you even bringing that back up?" And Ahna started going off on Lex. She was like, "SMD, I told you to mind your business, Lex. SMD, this, that, and the third." So this is what I'm saying. Just how when a few episodes earlier in the season, at the beginning, when Ivory and Lex was fighting, remember they was fighting in the house and Ahna kept clocking Lex and they got into it and she was calling Lex a dumb bee and all of that and Lex didn't do nothing, but she popped it about Ahna and her confessionals. She basically did the same thing this time. Ahna told her to SMD over and over again and she didn't say nothing for real in the scene, but then she kept talking in her confessionals and after they left and acting like she was so mad about it. Like, girl, do something in the moment or shut up. Ahna started telling Lex and Summer that they were story produced. They denied it, but I could see them being story produced because Summer just looks for beef with anybody and everybody. And Lex from the beginning seemed like she was story produced or like she was put up to have that beef with Jela by the producers because it came out of nowhere and it didn't make no sense. So the girls separate because obviously stuff is getting too tense and Natalie decides to take a walk with Lex, Summer, and Dolly. So Summer was basically telling Natalie, "You know, I never snuck Ahna. She just needs something to say," which is true because like I said, in my opinion, she didn't sneak Ahna. They was face to face. Do I feel like Ahna just needs something to say? Maybe she feel like she do, but in my opinion, if she wanted to sneak her, she snuck her. Summer is a crumb bucket, like she said. You do anything and everything. You peeing on the bus, you spitting on the bus, you throwing up on the bus, you jumping people, you tag teaming people, you sneaking people, you talking about people dead parents. Like, girl, you're not somebody I feel like I would give any leeway to either. Like, I'm gonna just do whatever I want to you because you the type of bitch that does whatever. So now Lex is so mad at her confessionals, at Ahna, and in the scene talking to Natalie. But like I said, when Ahna was just telling you to suck her blank, you really had nothing to say. So Natalie was like, "You know, the sneaking is too much and we can't be doing this stuff in public. We'll get banned." And Dolly was like, "Listen, I just feel like you say that it's a lot of rules, but your OGs don't follow the rules. They disrespect you. And if they not following the rules, then why should we follow the rules, basically?" So Natalie was like, "No, the OGs need to follow the rules too." And Dolly was like, "Well, I'm going to just be real. We haven't learned nothing from your OGs." But really, the main person that y'all should be blaming for that is Natalie, because she's the one who implemented this whole house A, house B shit and the OGs and the newbies not being in the same house. That's not how Baddies was up until what? Baddies East? So Dolly's in her confessionals like, "I've been standing on business by myself. Summer been standing on business by herself. And Lex has been standing on business by herself." I'm going to disagree. Now, Lex, she has definitely been standing on business by herself. But like I said, Summer and Dolly jumped Emma. And Dolly, you kept complaining about your hand. And you wanted Lex to fight Pretty P. And you got mad that she didn't. You thought we forgot about that too? So no, you haven't been standing on your own business. And you pick and choose because you keep saying your hand is hurt. And that's why you haven't fought Tasiki and I'm guessing Tinkerbella as well. But you keep fighting Pretty P. And Lex was like, "You know what? I'm done sparing Ahna. She's little and that's why I've been sparing her. But she talks too much and I'm done." Okay, you should have been said that when she called you a dumb bee and told you to S her D. Like, keep all this late energy, for real. And then Dolly, while you was doing all this talking and shit, probably was drinking while y'all was out here and everything. You should have been drinking water and finding something to eat so that you didn't end up dehydrated like you did at the end of the episode. And that's why I said I don't feel bad. But we gonna get to that when we get to that. So now the newbie bus is headed back to the house, and Paula was basically saying, Lex, Dolly, and Summer mad, and I'm just sitting back like, damn, that's crazy. Her and Jazz was really playing the back this episode, and even Ivory too. You could tell that they don't really have no problem with the OGs like Lex, Summer, and Dolly do. Now, Summer did acknowledge that her and Ahna both talk a lot and they both have big mouths, but she said the difference is that she gets in the field with anybody who has a problem with her running her mouth, and Ahna gets protected. And Nunu was like, yeah, they pick and choose. Now, I do agree with that. Security definitely protects the OGs in general when they fight, but with Ahna, it seems like they really have been playing into her size and her being little and her having the face fracture ever since basically Baddies Caribbean. But when she was on Baddies East, she was basically a whole different person, and she never really seemed scared to get in the paint. So I don't really know what changed. And Nunu says she feel like they picking on the weakest link because they know Summer's not the best fighter. But I honestly feel like Summer be running her mouth and she be picking with people. So you can't really say that. If somebody picks with people over and over again and they can't fight, that's their problem. They got to learn to stop running their mouth, or they just going to have to keep getting their ass whooped like Summer be getting hers whooped. Like Nunu, I don't know. I like Nunu, but I don't really like that she aligning with this side because obviously I'm not really on the Summer Dolly Lex side. But I do like Nunu. Now, I still don't really like Jazz, but I actually did make her one of my most valuable newbies this week because y'all know we only got like 6 newbies left at this point. Emma left, Yoshi left, so we don't got a lot of newbies left. And I count Nunu as an OG. But I have liked her confessionals these last couple of weeks. Even though I am tired of her running her mouth about Summer in her confessionals, these last 2 weeks, the stuff she said has been so true. Like, I had no choice but to agree. Last week, I felt like she ate the confessional when she was like, I don't know why these girls are looking for somebody in the same age bracket as them to teach them how to be a bad B. Nobody could teach me how to be a bad B. I'm already one. She ate that. And then in this scene, she was basically saying, Summer's really the Maddie. Look at how many people she got into it with. You have to be depressed, have low self-esteem, be sick, and be miserable to do some of the stuff that Summer does. So then we have this quick scene of the girls getting ready for the club. I said it's funny how Dolly says she ain't learned nothing from the OGs, but she looking in the camera like Jela, and so is Ivory. And you could tell that they really just pushing the tension between the OGs and the newbies and just insinuating that something's going to happen because the tension is so thick. So in the newbie car, Lex is basically saying, we out here to make our money, so I'm going to follow the rules, but the OGs better do the same. And Nunu was just saying, no matter what happens, we got to stick together that's on this bus. But like I said, Paula, Jazz, and Ivory basically said they don't got no beef with the OGs and this shit don't got nothing to do with them. Now on the OG bus, Jela starts telling the girls how she was in the bathroom and Summer, Dolly, and Lex didn't know she was in the bathroom. She heard them talking about the OGs basically, so she started recording on her phone from inside the stall. Jela, you had time to press record while you was taking a piss? It's crazy, I'm not gonna lie. But okay, let's get the tea. So apparently Summer says she makes the show and they need her. Now, I will say at the beginning of the season, I could have kind of saw how that would have made sense. Summer was kind of a breath of fresh air. A lot of people felt like she was BGC coded. She wasn't an influencer or somebody that Zeus pulled from another reality show. She was a real, round the way girl, basically, right? But now that we at the end of the season, I personally could say I don't really want Summer back for another season, even though I think she will be back for another season. And I wouldn't care if I never saw her again, like on reality TV, social media, anything. So they get to the club, and of course now the OGs have even more tension and animosity towards the newbies, mainly Summer, because of this recording that Jela just played. So Natalie must have rode to the club by herself. So when they pulled up in front of the club, she came and joined the OGs on the Sprinter. So she wasn't there for that whole conversation beforehand, and she didn't hear the Summer voice note. So Ahna asked Natalie, was you mad that I hit her outside the ice cream shop? And Natalie basically didn't say yeah. She was like, I would have preferred if you do stuff like that before we go out. But she wasn't that mad about it. But Natalie was like, but now the thing is, they telling me that my OGs don't listen to me, so why should they have to follow rules? And Ahna was like, we don't gotta follow nothing. We've been here for 2 and 3 seasons. And Natalie was like, okay, well, Lex said your little ass is gonna get dragged. So the baddies finally get in the club. It is a little divided. The OGs went in first, then the newbies came in. Scotty came in late, child, and Natalie felt the way about it. She always trying to say, oh, I hate when people are not at hostings on time, this, that, and the third. You pick and choose. Because you'll probably say something to Scotty about it, but you didn't say anything to Tasiki about it, but you said something about it in your confessional. So Jaden performs, I'm a bad loop, and I'm snipped like a Barbie, hips, lips, ass, and a Cardi, I'm his favorite motherfucker, hello motherfucker. And then Tinkerbella performs her song, that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 song. I think that's her song with Diamond, but of course Diamond not there no more, so it was just Tinkerbella. So Anna basically said in her confessional, I'm going to try to respect Natalie rules for the club tonight as far as us not fighting each other in the club, but I'm on timing and I really don't care. She ends up getting on the mic and saying one of the newbies is mad because she keep getting beat up, talking about Summer. And then she was like, and I want to give a shout out to my bitches, shout out to the OGs. We keep beating up these newbies, no shade. Ahna was having me weak this episode. I'm not going to lie. And y'all know I am not an Ahna fan, but she really was tickling me this episode. So Tasiki performs Be You Know I Eat. And not really surprisingly, the crowd starts fighting. That's one of those songs like Nuck If You Buck that got that kind of energy. And we already saw Hawaii definitely gets crazy. Now, the whole time they was on stage, you could basically see that the OGs was on one side and the newbies was on another side. Like, you could see over here is Tasiki, Ahna was over this way, Natalie, and then over here you have Dolly, Lex, Pretty P, etc. So they was, completely separated. Dolly, for whatever reason, decides to go over to the side where the OGs are and start jumping around and start trying to bring attention to herself. Jela had the mic and she was on the mic and Dolly came next to her and was basically like putting her arm in front of Jela's face and bumping Jela's arm. Like, girl, what are you doing? So Jela was like, I bumped her out of the way because she kept bumping me. So they started exchanging words and then Dolly went up to Natalie and was like, oh, you better get your bald head ass friend. And Jela was like, oh, you don't have to tell Natalie to get me. Come get me yourself. So Jela ends up popping Dolly, hitting her in the face a good 3-4 times. So Dolly claimed she was trying to be professional and she never planned on fighting Jela. And that's why Jela hit her because she knew that they was in the club and Dolly really wasn't going to do nothing. And Dolly was like, and you're going to pay for that. But I really don't think she's going to pay for it from you. And this is what I'm saying about Dolly talking about she stand on her own business. From what we've heard, Dolly and Jela don't fight again, do they? But Lex fights Jela next week. And apparently they said that Lex did Jela in. So basically Lex fought your battle. That's what you mean by Jela was going to pay for it? Because you didn't make her pay for it. Like, so it basically becomes a brawl. It looks like everybody's swinging and the hosting is pretty much over. Natalie was like, this has never happened before in Baddies history. Now, we have seen a lot of club fights, like the audience getting into fights or even some of the cast members getting into it with audience members. But I don't know. Y'all have to let me know in the comments. I can't really think of a time that 2 cast members got into a fight at a club hosting. So maybe Natalie's telling the truth about that. So Summer has lost 3 wigs now, I think. She lost the pink bob when they threw it off the balcony. Then Ahna ripped her lace at the Gelato spot. And Lex asked Summer, did she want the wig? She said no, they got rid of it. Then Dolly did Summer's hair tonight. And Scotty ripped her wig off. Ivory was looking crazy when they was leaving the club. And I was confused on why. Because she shouldn't have really been fighting anybody. So Jela got on the mic and she was like, you get me, ho. You dirty, ugly ass beat. She had a country accent. So Jela was asking Tinkerbella and Ahna who was hitting her from the back while she was fighting. And Ahna said it was Lex. And then Tinkerbella was like, and Dolly, and Dolly. Like, yeah, obviously, and Dolly, because Dolly was the person that Jela was literally fighting. But Lex is obviously the person who jumped in. And I guess Summer jumped in as well. But Summer looked like she was really fighting Ahna. So when they get out the club, Lex is so excited talking about Dolly. We got a reason to dog these hoes tomorrow. We dogging these hoes tomorrow. This, that, and the third. F the OGs. It's a good thing Lex could actually fight because I just really can't take her seriously. Like the corny confessionals and just the way she be acting and talking when she's mad. It's like, girl, I will laugh in your face. And I literally saw a meme saying that today. Like, so Lex was like, Jela, Ahna, wait till I see you tomorrow. I'm dogging you bees. I promise y'all on my mama, this, that, and the third. We see Biggie with the infamous meme face looking scared as the sprinter door closes. So then it cuts to the next day. We see the ambulance pulling up to the house. We hear and see Summer crying and we see Dolly laying on the floor. Now, I've heard 3 different stories about this, so we're going to get into the 3 different stories. Story number 1 that was said by Ivory and Ahna was that Dolly was on some type of pills and she basically was having a reaction to that. Like, I don't know if they were saying it was an OD, but it was some type of reaction to that. Then I've heard that Dolly was on pain meds for her hand injury that we've been hearing about all season, and that she was mixing that with the alcohol and it had a bad reaction. And then the third thing that I've heard was that she was dehydrated, basically from drinking all day and fighting all day and overexerting herself while not drinking enough water and making sure that she got something to eat. Now, while Natalie should feed these girls, you should also have your own money and come out here and be able to provide for yourself. The same way you provide for yourself at home. Like, these are grown women. These are not little girls. And we have to be realistic and put yourself in the shoes on if you did go on Baddies. I know for me as a grown-ass woman, if I went on Baddies If I was going to be drinking more than I normally drink, I'm going to make sure that I'm drinking a whole lot of water to dilute and balance that shit out. And I don't care if Natalie's not feeding us or if we only have a little bit of time in between to eat whatever. Whenever we in the house, I'm going to be ordering Uber Eats or DoorDash for myself with my money to make sure that I am eating. Be a grown woman and stop blaming Natalie. So Summer said Dolly has been complaining that her head was hurting, and they were talking, and Dolly was kind of frozen and not really responding to her. And when she was responding, she was repeating herself. And y'all might feel like I'm being cold, but just keep in mind, Dolly is the person from episode 1 that I said I did not like her energy, because when they pulled up to that house, the first thing Dolly said was that she liked that the yard had grass and concrete so that she could bang somebody's head on the concrete. So she wanted to bust somebody's head open. She said she wanted to do a be dirty. And I believe her, because on the auditions, just for her to get a ticket, she was willing to come to the audition and fight girls with rings and cut up girls' faces that she doesn't even know from a can of paint, giving them these lifelong scars and injuries so she could get on the show. I don't have no respect for Dolly or Summer. And like I said, I don't have a lot of empathy for anything that either one of them go through, because I could always throw something that they've done or said back into their face. So Rolly basically said that Dolly had a seizure. Summer was on the phone with Dolly's mom, and Dolly was unconscious for a while, but eventually she woke up. So Summer was telling her mom, she woke up, she's going to be okay. So like I said, in the scene, Ivory was saying how she felt bad. It was too much going on. Dolly's having seizures, she felt bad for her girl and she should go home. But when they fell out, Ivory said that Dolly basically had a reaction to taking some pills and that Dolly was on drugs. And Lex is sitting here talking about, I'm worried about Dolly right now, and I can't help but think about what happened last night. Like, are y'all trying to correlate her getting hit by Jela to her having some type of head trauma? And that's why she was saying her head was hurting, and now she's having a seizure. Like, again, Dolly always want to fight, but she's fragile as fuck. I'm tired of it. So the ambulance workers were asking, where's Dolly's ID? Summer was saying, I have it and I won't be giving it up. I'll be going with her to the hospital. So I will give Summer her tens for that. She is a good friend to Dolly. I just don't care for either one of them. So the ambulance workers asked Dolly's mom on the phone, what medical condition does she have? Her mom says she doesn't have any medical condition. So that's why I said, I feel like the most likely thing is one of 3 things. And none of them I could have too much sympathy for as a grown-ass woman. Either you was dehydrated from drinking all day and not feeding yourself and getting enough water in your system. 2, you are on drugs, like Ivory and Ahna said. Or 3, you was taking the pain meds for your hands, probably overtaking them, and not eating and drinking. And not drinking water. Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, it's all just shit that as a grown-ass woman, you should know better than doing. So Dolly gets put in the soft stretcher or whatever they call it. It looks like a body bag. I know that's what people were saying, but I think it's called a soft stretcher. And they're taking her into the ambulance. Once again, in her confessional, and this is why I cannot feel bad for this girl, she's popping it. Like, oh, I'm waking up and I'm going to the hospital again and I'm not feeling that. And the OGs need to be lucky because God spared them. Like, girl, you still talking about fighting somebody so you could end up in the hospital again. So Dolly gets in the ambulance and the episode ends there. Next week, we basically see the aftermath of everybody hearing about what happened with Dolly. Rolly was telling Natalie, Scotty, and Tinkerbella that she had a seizure. Lex is talking about seeing Dolly the way I saw her really got me mad, and I'm going to beat Jela's ass for that. So like I said, somehow you want to blame Jela for what happened to Dolly. And then we see the OGs headed to this dinner with everybody, and Jela was like, I'm going out with a bang. So I think next week might be our season finale, because it looks like this will be the final dinner. So from what we saw, Scotty and Summer are going to fight. It looked like Scotty was getting Summer. Jela and Lex are going to fight. It wasn't really clear from the preview who was getting who, but from what we've heard, Lex got Jela. And then Summer versus Ahna, Summer was actually getting Ahna. So Scotty was yelling in the back telling Natalie to swing, but I think she was just breaking the fights up. So Natalie turned to Scotty and she was like, you don't ever tell me what to do, B. You don't tell me who to hit. Natalie's such a corny ass bitch. Like, you can't even ride for your OGs. Only person you want to pop off on is Scotty, per usual. And then we get the moment that we've all been waiting for. Mel gets brought in. Her and Ivory are going to square up. And it looked like Mel went right into the fight with her head down. And she's looking like she's going to take the L. So for this week, my least valuable newbies are Dolly and Lex. My least valuable OGs are Biggie and Natalie. My most valuable newbies are Ivory and, surprisingly, Jazz. I wish I could have still put Ivory and Paula, because y'all know I love Paula. She's my favorite newbie overall, but she kind of faded into the background more than Jazz this episode. I feel like Jazz confessional stood out more this episode and last episode, so I'm going to give it to her. And then my most valuable OGs, Jela and surprisingly Ahna. Like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of Ahna, never have been, but she was cracking me up this episode, and I really don't like Summer. So for right now, I'm team Ahna when it comes to the her and Summer situation, you know? And when it comes to the her and Biggie situation that they said happened at the reunion, Biggie letting Ahna get jumped, I'm not here for that either. And that's the end of my episode 21 Baddies Midwest review. I'll see y'all next week for episode 22, hopefully the last episode. And the Baddies Africa auditions will be dropping March 23rd. I won't be reviewing those week by week, but just letting y'all know. It comes out March 23rd, and it'll probably be 3 episodes. And we could probably expect to get the reunion right after that, and maybe some type of trailer for Baddies Going Wild. So to stay updated with all of the latest Baddies tea and Zeus tea in general, make sure you follow me on TikTok and subscribe to me on YouTube. And I'll see y'all next week. Bye.